All right, so once you have opened the file, you've read into the variable for each line in result, so it's saying for each iteration through the result file, print that line and then close. So if we want to just take that little piece and see what that's doing, we can go to, I don't know if I did that in that chapter zip, but we're going to do a little step at a time since I'm trying to. Okay, so yeah, that has a lot more stuff in it than what I did, you guys. So this one may have a lot more in it than just that, but we'll, let me save it. File, save as. This one, page 152. I know what I've done before is added all this. Oops. Okay, so this one is actually already setting up an array, but I wanted to just do this line so you could just see how it works. I was going to do it just like they did, but okay, this has those, this is already splitting it. Let me do it. And did not get too much at one time in there, but okay, so this should actually just say each line. So if we're doing for line in result F, and we're saying scores dot append, and I just want to print it. I'm going to say print each line. So I'm not even appending anything to an array yet. So all I want to do in this for loop is print line, in this case I called it, and then close it. So this should do, which I don't even need this one, because I added a bunch of stuff to it later. All right, so here we'll say run, okay. And the thing that you have to be sure of is that file, so it printed each line in my text file, right? Here was my text file. Is it not in that zip file? Let's see, it should be right here. Is yours not letting you? Yeah. Oh, it's a. What do you mean get it from Python? Oh, it has to be in the. Oh, that's because that zip file you probably didn't do extract all. Did you do extract all? That's why. In Windows, remember, anytime you have a zip file, even though you can see all those files, you have to do extract all because it still has them zipped or compressed. Okay. So, but the thing that you do have to always be aware of is that if you're not familiar with different paths, if that's not a problem for you, and then you can put this file name, like say I had it in a folder called files, it'd say files/results.txt. Otherwise, it needs to be in the exact same folder as my program, as my Python script is. So in here, the script that I'm running, I called page 52, or 152 right here. So I have to be sure results is in this same folder. If I go and I move it to another folder, it's not going to find it. So if it says file not found, that's what the problem is. Either you didn't extract all, and that's a Windows thing. So here, when I ran it, it ignored these lines of code. So let me just take these out so that you can see how short that is. So any file that you want to open and read it in, we can even add some to this text file, and it'll still, I'll show you if I put another one, I put, let's see, let's put, is Jack in there? No. Let's do Right here, that's okay, J. Okay, so then I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to put his score was a 10.0. Okay, so I'm adding him. So now, well, let me make sure I save that. File, save. So I've added that one to it. So now if I run it again, I should get his to print out because it doesn't care. See, it added that one because it doesn't care how many are in there. It's going to go until it ends. So I can adjust my scores if I need to in the file, and this will always work with any file to read it in and print it out. But it's going to print the whole line. Okay, so you already got a precursor of what's going to come next because part of that was added in there. So you need to complete the code to find the highest score in the results.txt file. So in order to find the highest score, we've got to put something in the middle of that for loop besides just a print. But everything else is going to stay the same. So I'm going to have some if statements to do that. And so it's already, that was what those other ones that were in there were doing. If float line is greater than the highest score, and we did a program like this, highest and lowest inside Python in another chapter. I can't remember which one it was. But now we're going to read each element of the file in. Now here's the problem. If we read in, like it says here in the book, if we say for line in result F, if float line is greater than highest score, then move float line to highest score. Well, highest score starts out at 0, so we know it's numeric, right? So what are we trying to do here? We're trying to put a float value here that has some string in it, right? So it tells you here, it'll give us an error. Could not connect, or I think that says connect, string to float Johnny 8.65 because it's got Johnny in there. So now we've got to do something else to our line. We've got to strip out the string and put it in a separate variable, right? So we need the name. If we just want to find the highest score, we're just going to get rid of the name first. We're going to say, take the name off, and there's a method called split, and that's what we're going to use first. So the file contains more than numbers. To see what happened, let's take another look at the judge's score sheet to see if you missed anything. So here's the judge's score sheet. The judges also recorded the name of each surf contestant next to his or her score. So we don't just have the scores in the results file. So we need to split. So once the for loop shreds it, then we need to cut it in half, basically. We need to split each line apart so that we can deal with the name separate from the score. So here's what we're going to do. You already know how to extract one string from another. You did it for Starbuzz back in chapter 2. But then Python has another method called split, where you can split that string. So here it gives you an example. This is not that one that we're using, but the split method cuts the string. So imagine you have a string containing several words assigned to a variable. Think of a variable as if it's a labeled jar. So if you had one called Rock Band, and in the string you had Al, Carl, Mike, Brian, and you wanted to split those names up because this is a single variable. So you want to split those up. Then the Rock Band string, like all Python strings, has a split method that returns a collection of substrings, one for each word in the original string. So using a programming feature called multiple assignment, you can take the result from the cut performed by split and assign it to a collection of variables. So you can use the split method on Rock Band, and when you do that, see here's Rock Band dot split. It wants to assign Al to rhythm, Carl to lead, Mike to vocals, Brian to bass. So when it does that, you'll notice that the assignment, everything on the right-hand side, remember, dumps into the left-hand side. And so you can have it in parentheses like that, and as long as there's the same number here as there is over here, it's going to match them up. It's going to split them. It's going to split Rock Band, because it says up here that Rock Band's equal to Al, Carl, Mike, and Brian, right? So if I say Rock Band, and what does the dot mean? Ownership. Rock Band dot split. So it's going to take Rock Band, and that function or method, they call it, is actually going to split every place there's a space there and dump it into this one as a multiple assignment. Looks like you can use multiple assignment and split to extract the scores from results. So here's how we would do that. This is the current version. It's already done for you. Let's see what pages. This one is going to be called, in your chapter 4, there should be one called page 125 right here. Okay, so with this one, it says we're setting a variable named highest score equal to 0. We're opening our file, and I need to fix my file back or it won't get any of the results they did. Let me take that off of there. Save again. Okay, so highest score equals 0, 4 line in result F. So these two lines are still the same they were in the previous program. So I've added this line that says use the split method, and it will dump the first thing it splits off into the variable name and the second one into score, right? Just like we did in Rock Band. So then we're going to ask if float sub score is greater than highest score, then that score would be the highest and you would close it. So then you would put the highest score was and you'd print that. Let's see if this is going to give us, I'm going to put these, oops, I'm going to open, oops, I opened the wrong thing, I think. Oh. Why is it in that? Okay, let me go back over here. I want to show that we're going to get the right results. So here's this results file, and I know you can't see it, so I'll open it bigger here in a second. So here's the results file, and so if our program works right, what it should give us 9.12, right, as the highest score. So let's see. Gonna go run. Oops, it didn't split or something, right? It says value error, not enough values to unpack. Expected to got 0. So either it didn't open my file. Let's see, why did that one not work? So is it open results? I said print name and score, so it didn't even find. I don't think that error was supposed to occur. Let me see. No, what did I do wrong here? Result F equals open name score equals line dot split. Did y'all's run? Did anybody's run? Yours did? So what did I do wrong here? I wonder why that one's saying no. Did you run the one that I had in that zip file? Or did you code it? So does it look like this?
No, I've already got it.
Past that.
I've already got it, yeah. I've already got it sorted.
Okay, so like I had that first one. Okay. Okay, you went to the next chapter, hashing. Okay, so yeah, let me look at the chapter zip list. Yeah, I don't know what I did wrong. Let me go in there again and see if I can find it. Why it's doing that. Where was that first one I did? I think. This one. Okay, let me see if this one works, because this was the one the way I had it first. Run. Not finding my file. File open, line 5. It doesn't like my line split for some reason.
Looks like it's not finding the file.
Yeah, I think that's what so we're going to get to see what that looks like. Yeah, why not? It's down here. It's in the same place. Do I have it named numbers? No, still named. But it isn't even saying that it doesn't find it. It just says. Yeah, it's not finding the file, but it doesn't even give that error. And it was finding it because we were doing it a minute ago. So what's happening? Mode equals R is read-only encoding. But it's not trying to get to it until it's skipping to that line dot split for some reason. Anybody else get their unzipped file? Somebody unzip it on your computer and see if it'll.
I'm worried. What is your text file? Printing high score, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yours work?
What is your text file?
Well, that's what I just opened right here. Oh, maybe when I added that to it or something, it changed it. It shouldn't. It says results. There's what it looks like. Here, I'll do this. File. Maybe it'll let me save it as. There, it saved it again. High score. Open results.txt.
Before I first opened up the text file, it just wasn't working because it was all on the same line.
Oh, that's in Windows. It does that every time, but it's never done that to me before in here. Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can get a clean one somewhere. Yeah, it's like there's something, it's not noticing that it's the right file. Okay, let me go into iCloud and do that. At least that's not what buzzing. iCloud. Let me go to here and get a new one out. I haven't done anything to. And that shouldn't have done anything to it. Oh gosh, our time is already up. Okay, so I'm going to finish it. All of those in chapter 4 in that HeadFirst are in that chapter zip file. And so if you go through the whole thing and submit, I'm going to open a thing. Let me make sure this one will run here real quick, and then I'll tell you. Okay, let's see what this does now. There, it worked. Okay, so I don't know. There was something because I had messed with that file, I guess. I don't know. So there it did the top scores, and I did some things here just using different methods that are available to the array. So here's what we did not go through in class, is that it is reading this score into an array called scores. And so what it's doing here is it's using a method called sort to sort scores in top to bottom, and then it goes from least to highest. So then you have to use reverse to get it into the highest score order. And then we just print it out, position 0, position 1, position 2. Okay, so that's what we did in this first, in the chapter. So if you go all the way to the, I probably won't get to hashes, which is what Eric was talking about. If you want to go to the, I think that's in the next chapter. And so at the bottom of this chapter, the last one you do is, let me see what number it is. You somehow, oh yeah, you can't match the name with it unless you do hashes, and I can do that in class. So the last one that you have to submit is the last one that sorts them right here, the top scores. And I want to be sure that you go through this chapter before class, and if you have any questions, okay, because before class next time, because we're going to have to do, I'm going to give you another problem that will be similar, like your final. You're going to use an array and a file, and you're going to read into an array. So this problem that I'm going to give you on Monday, that's what it'll be like. It'll be like your test, okay? And so you need to go through this. I'm not going to make you use a hash, but if you want to see what a hash does, it allows you to keep the name with the score of the surfer, because the way we're doing it now, we're sorting the scores. But if you sort the whole line, it's going to mix the names up where they're not going to match the score of who they recorded, okay? And that's what you'll see at the end of this chapter. So I'm going to give you an assignment box. That'll be 10 points just to drop this in so that I know that you've gone through that and understand arrays. Go through this chapter slowly until you understand it, okay? Because you should be able to understand this one. I was just reading it to you. So, okay. All right. So, and that arrays loops, if you want to resubmit it, then because you get points for that too. All right. Okay. Sorry for all the disorganization this morning here. And we will see you on Wednesday then.